Hey crew, welcome back to another episode of the Skipper Report. This one's going to be done on location. There's a few of them that I've done on location up in Northern Ontario, just north of the Sioux, in a place called Searchmont. What a gorgeous ski hill that is. And I was introduced to it by my good friend John Woods, or as everybody calls him up there, Woody. And he and I sit down and have a conversation at our friend's house, Richard Anker, and spend close to an hour with Woody regaling us with his stories of skiing and the Great North. Anyway, so grab yourself a beverage, kick back, and enjoy this episode with John Woods on the Skippy Report. Hey crew, welcome back to another episode of the Skippy Report. This time I'm on the road, and it's a couple of days before World Telemark Day 2026. And I have a very good friend of mine. I'm presently in Searchmont, Ontario, which is north of Sault Ste. Marie. And I've come up here to visit and ski with my good friend John Woods. Welcome to the Skippy Report, John.
Yes, it's good to get you back up. Hopefully do a couple of telly turns together.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And you might think we're related, but we're not.
That's true.
Everybody listening.
Yeah, I'm John's big brother.
I always tell people you're my little brother.
and so let's get into that. How did we meet?
So that's a very good story because I started Telemark skiing and I got certified the next year to teach it. And everybody told me that I should meet Keith Woods. So I found him on Facebook, and we talked to each other, and we met at Mount St. Louis. And I had no idea what Keith was going to be looking like other than his face. So I'm sitting there having a cup of coffee, and in comes the giant, and we hit it off right away. We actually sat there for an hour and a half and shot the breeze about our ski world and lives, and then we went skiing. And I still remember the tip you gave me about pulling my front foot back instead of pushing my back foot forward.
Right.
And that was a good one. And
I stole that from Mark Kinoshita.
Okay.
Yep.
You're sharing it.
Yes.
So interestingly enough, I had in my journey to get certified, I'd met a few different people, and it was very enlightening. And at the end of the day, when I was thinking, I said, Keith, what's your involvement with this tele skiing in Canada, or Ontario or whatever? And he says, oh, I'm the head of Telemark Canada. Interestingly enough, he never mentioned that the whole day till the beer at the end of the day. And that's like humility with a capital H, And he really inspired me because I just wanted to get more involved once I met him, and we shared our stories. Yeah, I actually started telemark skiing. I was at Searchmont, and a friend of mine, Ed Palma, he says, Woody, you should try to telemark ski. And I said, well, absolutely. So we got some equipment that almost fit. We went to the top of the main hill at Searchmont, and he said, do this, and he showed me what to do in a static position, and he took off. So here I am at the top of the hill, not knowing what to do, really. So away I went. And out of the 60 turns I made, I think I made 2 that were pretty good. And it was enough of a taste that I knew that that's really what I wanted to do. And so I I pursued the sport, and
It was interesting that you said that you had gear that almost fit,
yeah.
which is, I'm going to think, most people's beginning of the journey.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like the boots were like size 10,
Right.
or maybe even 11, or whatever. It was just funny. So I'm just thinking of what my journey. So that was the last day of the season at Searchmont. So in the summer, I go to Ann's brother, Alar, and I traded a case of beer for some tele skis.
And that's what you do in Northern Ontario.
Yeah,
Trade a case of beer for whatever you need.
yeah.
Guy here, people, I need a chainsaw.
And I think the beer was worth more than the skis I got. Anyway, so then I contacted Scott Canada, and I got a pair of boots on a pro deal. And I bought the book, which is in cartoon form, How to Telemark Ski.
That's the Bible. Everybody gets that.
Yeah, and it's really, really laid out nicely. So I didn't tell anybody, but I went to Michigan to Nub's Knob 2 weekends in a row before the next ski season, before Searchmont opened. And I taught myself how to telemark ski with this tutorial book.
Right.
And I was also teaching some friends how to Alpine ski. I did a few face plants, which you can only do when you're skiing backwards with telemark skis. I don't know. Have you ever done a face plant?
A couple.
I turned around, I was going backwards, and I was talking to people. All of a sudden, the skis took off, and first thing to hit was my nose.
The telemark skis will keep you honest.
Yeah. So now, moving forward, it's about the 1st of December the next year. And I show up at Searchmont with my Labatt's blue skis and my boots that fit. And I'm telemark skiing. And Ed Palma saw me telemark skiing. And he goes, "Holy jeez, you only skied once before, and now you can telemark ski." I didn't tell him I went to Nub's Knob for days.
Right.
And I just told him I read the book.
Right.
So we had a good laugh about that. But
Now you need to fill the people in on. You started telemark skiing when most people are retiring.
oh yeah, so I was 65 on my the first run I took within, and I got certified when I was 66. And when I was 67, Keith invited me to go to Tremblant to train with the Canadian World Cup telemark team. And I'm just pinching myself when I'm at Tremblant thinking, how the heck did I end up here, with all these rock stars, But they treated the 10 of us, there's 10 older guys, and most of them are in their 50s, except for me. But they treated us with the utmost respect.
Yep.
And it actually was a great teaching moment where I became a balance instructor. That was the focus of Alpine snowboarding and telemark skiing, is to get people in balance. And it really made me a better instructor, really did. I mean, I really think about it a lot, maybe more than
Right.
most.
Well, you know what, and that's a good, you talked about the Alpine skiing, snowboarding. Maybe you can elaborate to the listeners what else you're certified to teach on slippery slopes.
Yeah, well, I actually was going to get certified to teach skiing when I was 16. They had just opened Snow Valley in Barrie 4 years before. We used to walk down the side of 400 highway carrying our skis when we were 9 years old, climb over the snowbanks to get on the golf course, and ski down these cart paths. And both days on the weekend, like, we were just ripping it.
Right.
And so then, at any rate, I didn't get certified when I was 16. I got into business when I was 21, and I recreational skied with my kids when they came along, and Then when I was teaching them to ski, the guy that ran Onaping Ski Hill in Onaping asked me if I'd take a few other kids with me.
And that's just outside of Sudbury.
Just north of Sudbury. It's closed since, but it's a great hill. Oh, man. They had a bump run called the Kandahar. I never did have a good run on it. You know? Anyway, and I was a pretty good bump skier, but there was a couple of corners. Got me every time. But so before I know it, I got 10 little kids following me around, and I said to my buddy Fred, I said, looks like we got a ski school. So we went and got certified, and I had it for 5 years. And the last 3 years, we taught over 400 people how to ski.
Wow.
Which was a good number. We were busy.
Right.
And then I had the occasion to move to Sault Ste. Marie and got involved with Searchmont, and that was in '94. So this is my 32nd year.
Wow. And I love coming to Searchmont. It's one of my favorite places, and I ski all over the place. And I just, when I was at a friend's house last weekend talking with his brother-in-law, and his friend's brother-in-law was trying to explain to my friend what it looks like. And I agree, it's like the Saint Sauveur area it's the Bas Laurentians, same sort of environment. And I think Searchmont has the best learning center in any of the mountains or hills I've ever skied.
The new owner, a fellow bought it, Michigan, owns a few hills in Michigan and Minnesota. He put in a learning chairlift beside our little carpet lift that goes back about half a mile in the bush, and 2 beautiful runs coming out. And I could teach your grandmother to ski there. It's just lovely, and
it's got 144 chairs, and there is kind of a valley because the Goulet River goes through it. And when you're standing at the top of these beginner runs, you feel like you're having a big mountain experience.
Yeah.
Like, it's a great way to sell skiing to
and our
newbies.
Average snowfall is 18 feet.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this year's a banner year.
We've had more than that.
Yep.
But there's only been a couple of years where we had maybe a green December, but then we just got hammered. One time in '95, it snowed 5.5 feet in 2 days.
Holy shit.
And I was snowboarding there was 4 feet of wind-blown snow, and the rest was powder. And I had never been in powder up to my armpits on my snowboard.
Right.
And I was going down random access, and my board submarined to the bottom of the
Holy
5.5
moly.
feet of snow. And I literally had to dig myself out for half an hour, you know. But, we get big snow. And we get it early, and we have been open April 15th.
Right.
Apparently this year, part of the hill is going to be closed at the end of March because there's a big snowmobile race coming.
Oh, okay.
Right at the end of March.
Right.
And we haven't had that for years and years, but
right.
It's a good event.
Yeah.
So you got to get to Searchmont before then.
And it's a modern mountain, but it's got old school vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're slowly updating it. They finished the accommodations now, right at the bottom of the hill.
They put new accommodations, and he's actually putting a motel in the next 5-year plan. And they took out the 30-year-old quad lift, and they're going to put in a new one in the next 2 years that'll actually go further back to.
Right.
It'll end up being a longer run.
Yep.
And it will be FIS rated for training World Cup skiers, national skiers.
That's cool. They have a FIS, like a homologated run, do they not here?
It's not quite long enough.
Oh, okay.
But we've got a run that's got everything else. It's got drops, it's got corners, it's got jumps. It's really interesting.
Yeah, this one fella that my friend's brother-in-law, he loves coming up here.
Yeah.
And yeah, he'd come up here all the time, but it's a long way from Collingwood area.
Yeah.
So let's get back into your ski history, because you were at Onaping Ski Hill, starting the ski school.
Yeah, and I got that started, and it actually carried on after I left. The younger guys that were coming up, and actually Colin Wilson, who was managing Searchmont for 3 years, he's the fellow that found Joe, the American fellow, to buy the ski hill.
Yep.
But he was in the ski school at Onaping with me.
Oh, no way.
He actually took it over when I left to come to the Sioux.
Very cool.
And so, I mean, I've always just been an extremely part-time instructor. I've had my own business for many years. But I was at Searchmont all through Christmas, every weekend, all through the March break. And
how many ski days do you have this year? Do you keep track of them?
Oh, I've probably got 35 ski days.
Right.
So far.
Right.
And I really, I missed a few days, but not too much.
Right.
But so I'm talking about getting to teach skiing and the journey. Well, I was 42 when I got certified to teach skiing. But anyway, then snowboarding came along. And I was just telling Keith tonight, I went to a meeting of all the ski hills of the Midwest in '95, representing Searchmont. And the fellow up at the front of the stage that had the mic was doing a ban snowboarding rant about how they're destroying their ski hills. And I put my hand up. I was 45. I'd been certified to teach snowboarding because there was a demand. And I said to him, I said, you know what? I teach a lot of snowboard lessons. And I said, it's going to be 30-40% of our business in the next couple of years. So you can ban them, but you can also kiss 30-40% of your revenue. So, and there is no difference in it. They're different, but they go together well.
That's right.
I mean, as many skiers interfere with snowboarders as snowboarders interfere.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true. Yep.
But anyway, I've had a lot of fun teaching snowboarding, and we used to run a program with Laurentian University's outdoor adventure program, and it was actually a credit university course, and we would teach them everything about resort operations, the snowmaking, the office, the marketing, and we would teach them to either ski or snowboard, and we would train them to be instructors in a week.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then
they didn't have that program when I was a student at Laurentian.
Oh yeah, that was the best week of the winter for me. The kids were so great, and it was when you're with 50, 18, 19, 20-year-old
Right.
kids that are rocking and rolling, it's a good week. I'll
Yes.
tell you that. We had a lot of fun.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So let's get back to Telemark, because this is like about Telemark. So one of the things I like doing with John, or he likes doing with me, he throws tips out at me and asks me, what do you think about doing this? Give this a try. Give this a try. So how do you come up with these tips? Where do you pull them out of your toolbox?
I've had some great mentors. Brian Mealy in particular, who's was a coach at Searchmont for many, many years. He's actually 87 right now, and he's not skiing anymore because he needs a couple of knee replacements. But, for example, he gave me a tip one day. He said, grow in the direction of the turn.
Right.
And I'm going like, what? And he said, before you turn your feet, move your core in the direction of the turn. And I did it, and it was a wow moment.
Right.
And I'm a balance guy.
Right.
It's a balance retaining tactic. And funny enough, 2 days ago, I'm teaching skiing, and first time I ever in my entire life I said to somebody I was teaching, before you start the turn, put your weight on the uphill ski, which I've been saying for 20 years. But I said, when you do that, straighten your uphill leg. And it was an immediate, from beginner to intermediate tactic.
Like, aren't those so satisfying
Oh.
when those things can happen to your clients? Yeah.
And you see the joy.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I mean, that's what makes me tick.
And we talk about that. We talked about it earlier, that when Stefan, when he's the national coach of the Canadian Telemark team, he talks about racing. He talks about projecting. I even know one time he said, throw your body down the hill and your skis will follow. So I did that. It didn't work. And I ended up sprawled out on the ground, and I injured my elbow. And people who have listened to this for a long time know that my family's in the golf industry, and I despise golf. I ended up with golfer's elbow from that injury. Got it skiing. But yeah, eventually I learned about how much of my body to throw down the hill and project down the hill.
Yeah, so that really works. So I was just, I had something just cross my mind and it's escaped me. But anyway, what was that? I'll just carry on.
Yeah, carry on. It'll come back.
Come back to me. But yeah, so when you're teaching people, when I'm teaching, I am all about balance and balance retention and things that retain balance in the steering effort, and it could really create a quick progression into like the intermediate zone.
Right.
You know, I mean, there's lots of intermediate skiers. There's lots of advanced skiers, which I might consider myself. I'm certainly not an expert skier. But I'm a student of the game. Yeah, every once in a while, I'll stumble over something. I'll try something with somebody, and then it really works. So then I just put it into my recipe book. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So then when so I've got the snowboarding time well spent. I actually, for 10 years, when I was about 45 to 55, I snowboarded 90% of the time, except for when I was teaching skiing.
Right.
So I got pretty good at it.
Yeah.
And then when I got introduced to telemark skiing, that just rejuvenated me, you know.
Right.
I was 65, and all of a sudden I got this new game.
Right.
I was just fascinated with it.
Right.
And I got to go to the camp, and I met Keith and lots of good people. And it's been, now I'm 76, and I'm still in the game. I still do everything, probably not as good as I once did, but I think I do. Yeah, so
It's lots of fun coming up here and skiing with John, and him introducing me to the crew up here, which is really cool, and accidentally reconnecting with a couple of university chums that I hadn't seen in 3 or 4 decades. So
I should put a plug in for Bellevue Valley Lodge.
Oh yeah,
It's probably, without a doubt, the best backcountry skiing in Ontario.
Yep.
And Robin run a lodge. You can stay there, and he's got, I think he's got 500 acres or 1,000 acres of skiable backcountry terrain.
That's managed.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have work weekends, just like
in the fall.
Yep.
2 or 3 weekends, they basically clean up the deadfall and make
Yep.
sure everything's tickety-boo.
Yep.
And they just had their, I don't know,
Was it the 35th
what they call
or
it?
30th? The Snowflea?
Oh, Snowflea Festival.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was something like the 30th or 35th year. They just had it. And they have a big dinner and music at night. So it's quite an event. If you Google Bellevue Valley Lodge, you can contact them to book a time there, and he'll give you a heads up on the conditions, and he'll actually is good at teaching telemark skiing too.
And that was a great segue, because as I've brought the Skippy studio up in my big Pelican box, I'm kind of hoping they're going to get back from Ottawa in time so we can actually have them here.
Oh, yeah.
And do one of these podcasts. Be skiing 3 days and doing 3 podcast interviews.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
So, Searchmont is, I think, the best ski hill in Ontario condition-wise. There's not too many straight fall lines. There's lots of terrain,
and you've got some wild ones in the woods, like Moose Run or whatever.
We've got a real good backcountry skiing area ourselves.
Yeah.
And
John's property is just off of that.
Yeah, it's connected actually.
Yeah.
There's about a 150-foot vertical drop into my lot, and I haven't been inspired yet to take the plunge.
Right.
Yeah, you can't even walk up it in the fall. You got to just
no way.
Grab onto trees and hope you don't.
Is it like the hill out the back of Richard's place here?
I hadn't even seen
okay.
it.
Yeah, it's a couple of 100 feet tall, and it's like 40.
Maple trees.
Okay.
The only way you can get up is to grab onto one tree and then jump over to the other one.
Right.
And then go across the other one.
Like Spider-Man.
The leaves are wet and
right.
ended up sliding down the hill.
Right. Yeah.
So, it's been great being part of Searchmont and the whole ski culture. I used to guide. I was telling him that Keith was, I was telling him that I guided mountain biking in the 90s when I was in my 40s. And we had a 40-kilometer trail. And it was, we did the Red Maple Run. We'd have a big race.
Right.
And I just had so many memories from that. It was unbelievable.
That'd be nuts up here to do a 40K cross-country mountain bike trail.
We did this one ride. I'll never forget it. We got about 2/3 of the way through it, and there was an easy way to come back to the resort. And everybody but 2 guys decided they wanted to. The 2 guys wanted to come with me to finish the run. So they all went back, and it was actually pouring rain. So we go into what was called the Brickhead with our mountain bikes, and there's a climb, and then there's a valley, and it's a bog.
Oh, wow.
If it's raining, it's like knee-deep in mud. And we were climbing the hill, and these ATVs went by. And they were cracking off at us being on bikes instead of having a cool quad.
Right.
And I'm not even going to tell you what they were saying about us. So, but I know the bog's ahead. So they went up and over the hill, down into the bog, right up to their belly buttons almost. And I said to the guys I was with, I said, don't talk to them. So we're approaching them, and they're going, oh, hey, guys, can you help us get these things out of the blah, blah, blah. But after what they had said previously,
right,
they lost any hope of getting help from
right,
us.
Yes.
So I said to them, I'm going to get back to the resort, and I'll tell them there's 4 quads stuck in the Brickhead bog, and if you don't come out by night, somebody will come, search and rescue will come looking for you, and the way we go. So anyway, to finish that story, there's another climb,
right,
and there's a real downhill through this maple forest,
right,
and the downhill was just dirt, so it was slippery from the
right,
from the rain.
Yeah.
So I walked, and the other guy walked, but the one guy decides he's going to go flying down there, so
right.
he's sailing down there. All of a sudden, we hear this crash splash.
Oh, no.
And we're like, oh, that sounds interesting, So we get down, and there's a bridge, little walkway across this creek, and this guy hit the bridge and landed in the creek with his bike and all.
Oh, geez.
So we get down to him, and he says, no, the water's warm. Come on in, So we jumped in, threw our bikes in. We were all covered in mud, eh? Eyeballs to toenails, right?
Yep.
So we get out of there, and we're all pristine clean. Looks like we just left town. We get back to the resort because it was easy from there. We get back into the resort. The bikes are clean. We're clean, and they're going. It was so funny. They actually took pictures of us, eh? Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
I haven't told that story forever.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Like up here, there's adventure for anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like the Goulet River, empties out into Lake Superior, and its source is quite a ways from here, isn't it?
The Goulet River comes from Goulet Lake. It's up near Ranger Lake, which is 50 kilometers from here, the way the crow flies.
Right.
The Goulet River is probably 100 kilometers.
Right.
Because there's all these switchbacks.
Exactly.
And I've known a few guys that came from Goulet Lake.
Oh, really?
One guy soloed it.
Oh, wow.
Like it's a risky business. But
right.
he made it, had a good trip.
Sure.
I was
Cool.
just going to say another thing about Searchmont. We're sitting in Richard Anger's bed and breakfast or Airbnb.
Yeah.
And
he's hosting us.
My first time here, and it is absolutely got ski memorabilia everywhere. And
yeah.
It's absolutely pristine, redone.
And people need to check the Skippy Report Instagram page, because when I walked into his bathroom, I saw something and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to start this is the inaugural award of the best shitter signage." So you have to check that out.
No shit. Another business that's it locally here is Mount View Lodge.
Yep.
Run by Stephen Caron, and they are on Airbnb. They host the racers that come to the ski hill for races. They've got a caboose you can rent.
Yeah, and they have, like, they're a real lodge, and like access to snowmobile trails are right here. Like everything is very accessible, and it's I think the hamlet of Searchmont, I think when I saw it coming in, was 29 kilometers from Highway 17, just north of the Sioux.
So Mountain View Lodge is just to give them a little bit of a plug here, but they can put up about 30 people.
Yeah.
They can feed 30 people. They've got a great room. You can have a meeting. They've hosted weddings. They've hosted anniversaries. When the racers stay there, they can put their videos on their big TV and watch their training and the actual race.
Right. That reminds me, when you're talking about the great room, does Searchmont still do the Saturday morning breakfasts? Remember when I was here the last time?
They do periodically.
Oh, okay.
We have a community center, which actually has a gym that you can get it doesn't cost anything, but if you can get a swab. What do you call that?
A pass.
They got a thing you can get in there, and
Yeah.
it doesn't cost anything. And they've got basically a basketball court, and they play pickleball in there, and it's not just a little ski hill town.
No, like when you're in these little tiny places, they got to have everything. It was like when the first time I went to the Midwest Telefest and we rolled into White Pine, Michigan, and all the houses are the same. There's nobody on the streets, and I was like, this is like the X-Files, man. Like, where are we? Where have we've gone off the road here? So we did a little searching, because like they're in the middle of nowhere, and they have a little mall. They have a convenience store that's hooked up to a bar that has pool tables and a bowling alley and a motel, all under one roof. So, these little tiny out-of-the-way towns have to have everything, because, what is it, a good half hour back to the Sioux?
Oh, it's about 40 minutes, yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing about Searchmont Resort, they have gas pumps.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the owner put gas pumps in, and it's the snowmobilers. Like, you can go to Thunder Bay from Searchmont,
Right.
snowmobile trail.
Right.
You can go to Aurelia on snowmobile trails from here.
Oh yeah,
At least Huntsville.
I saw snowmobile trails crisscrossing the roads
Yeah.
all the way up here.
So, but they've got gas at the ski hill now that's available when the ski hill's open. Of course.
That's very cool.
But yeah, that's been a good thing because the snowmobilers. We saw two guys. They stayed at Mountain View Lodge, and they went 2,400 kilometers in
Wow.
1 week.
Wow.
They left Huntsville. They went to Hearst. They went to Timmins. They came back to Searchmont. They
Wow.
went across the ice to Manitoulin Island, and they went across the ice to Killarney,
Wow.
and then they went back to Huntsville.
That's nuts. That's crazy. And you know what? Like Searchmont, they welcome snowmobilers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's not, it's a ski resort, but,
We've got a big restaurant. Like there's a cafeteria, but there's actually a actual restaurant.
and it's got good food.
And yeah, they've got an actual chef, Brian, who's
Right.
Unbelievable what he's done to the menu. But the snowmobiles, they come wheeling in there. It'll be like 16 guys. And it almost looks like they don't fit in.
Right.
Because everybody else is skiers. These guys come walking in with their glow-in-the-dark skidoo suits and
Right.
helmets. And, they love it.
Yeah. And you know what? They got the money to drop there.
So they crank back a couple of beer, have
Yeah.
a hamburger.
Yeah.
They actually make a bison burger that isn't available in the cafeteria. It costs $20. It's the best $20 you'll ever spend.
Well, maybe I'm going to have to try that while I'm
Bison
up
burger.
here.
Oh yeah. So yeah, the resort's kind of the glue that holds the community together.
Right. Right.
We've got Kim Burkhardt is a manager.
Yep.
And she's a little firecracker. Oh yeah. Yeah, they've the Burkhardts moved here. They moved from Kitchener,
Right.
and they were having dinner at Mountain View Lodge.
Yep.
First week they moved here, and I said to Kim, "You are going to be an integral part of Searchmont."
Right.
She says, "How do you know that?" I said, "Trust me, because I just had dinner with her, and she's just friggin' beaming,
Right.
and just a little spitfire."
Right.
So now she's the general manager.
Oh,
of the
wow.
joint.
Nice.
This is like 4 years later.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So the Searchmont's kind of attracted a lot of people from Southern Ontario. They sell their $800,000 houses, and they come up here. And Kim and her husband Jake, they bought like 40 acres, and there wasn't a house on it, but they built up a house, I'll say, and they have got some money left in the bank. Let's put
Right.
it that way.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you can do that. Sell a small property down in Southern Ontario, move up here and buy a rather large estate.
Funny story. When I was guiding mountain biking, we're coming back one day and there's a driveway. So we went in the driveway and there's a cabin and the front door was open and the windows were busted. We went in and the knives and forks were still on the table. So clearly something had happened.
Right.
And what had happened is, it turned out, the guy died of a heart attack
Oh.
22 years before.
Oh, no way.
The cabin sat there for 22 years. So I was living at Sudbury at the time. So I called the road tax people and I said, "Who owns the property?" And she says, "I can't tell you, but I'll give him your name. And if he wants to talk to you, he'll talk to you." So this is in 1998.
Right.
So this guy calls me. He lives in Niagara Falls. And he says, yada, 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 40 acres in the cabin and this and that. And I said, "Well, I'd like to rent it. I'm actually just going through a divorce and I'd like to rent it because you know what I mean?
Yep.
Things are going sideways." So he says, "I'm just going through a divorce too." And he says, "I want to help you." I said, so we sort of bonded from our own chaos,
Right. Yep.
So he says, this is back in the day of faxing. And he says, "I'm going to fax you something, a piece of paper, some details on it. He faxes me this thing, $8,000 for 40 acres and a cabin. Pay me when you want.
That sounds like my parents' cottage deal.
Unbelievable. So I phoned him up and I said, done. So I said, I'll give you whatever, $350 a month. And that's how I paid it off. But
Right on.
yeah, I had that for about 10 years. And I ended up selling it.
Right.
Anyway.
Very cool.
Yeah. Take a drink.
Yeah. This is going on. Getting to hear some stories that John hasn't shared with me before.
Yeah. No, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've had an interesting life. I've been selling fishing tackle for 40 years.
I love it. You know what? If you follow John on Facebook, every summer he goes up to Aubrey Lake.
Yeah.
And now I was talking about that last weekend. When you go up to Aubrey Lake, do you take the Ranger Lake Road or do you actually go back down?
I never take Ranger Lake Road.
Okay.
Because I'm taking an 18-foot boat.
Right.
And it's...
And all your gear.
Yeah, but if it... anyway, I make a Crownland camp up there, right? But anyway, and I leave it set up for the summer. And
Right.
blah, blah, blah. But anyway...
And for listeners who don't know, Americans, that's like the BLM that they have in the U.S. They have the same sort of thing. It's Bureau of Land Management. Yeah.
So, but the road gets, if it is graded the day before, the day of, or the day after, or whatever, the road's great. But if it hasn't been graded for 6 days,
Right.
you'll rattle your teeth out of your head.
That's like the Sultan Road Sean and I take across from Gogama to Chapleau.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So it's the same thing. So I just go around. I have 2 cups of coffee. I stop at Tunnel Lake Trading Post, get another coffee, gas up. I probably pay $1 or 50 cents more a gallon or whatever, but they're the last gas for 200 kilometers. And that's another good business, Tunnel Lake Trading Post.
Right.
It's on 129, about half an hour up 129.
Right.
But, yeah, so I go around. I take a paved road. I don't beat the tar out of my truck or my boat, you know.
That's good to know because in the wintertime when I've been here before with my diesel truck and it's been stupid cold, I've had to go for drives just to warm it up. And I'd go down the Ranger Lake Road. It's a pretty nice road. I bet traveling most of it in the wintertime would be better than in the summertime.
I think so, but there was just a 3-vehicle collision at Ranger Lake.
Right.
Because it rained last week.
Yep.
They don't sand the road.
Right.
And a truck with a trailer and 2 vehicles did the do-si-do right at Ranger Lake Camp. And
oh, jeez.
James, the son of I'm thinking
Stephen, yes.
His son is on the fire emergency team, eh? So they went up there to take care of this accident. Just a jackpot.
Oh, geez.
But yeah, they don't put sand on the road or salt.
Yeah.
They plow it.
Yep.
But you're not supposed to be going 80 kilometers an hour either, you know?
No.
Yeah. So
Wow.
Anyway, that's
Yeah.
that's a lot.
Yep. Well, thanks for being an impromptu guest.
Well, I tried to give a good overview of Searchmont.
Yeah.
And it's value for tourism and
It's
you know, it's really something. And
the north is great, and you know, there's a lot of people discovering parts of Canada that they've never discovered lately.
Yeah.
And you need to come to the north because I was interviewing Trey Klaus, the owner of the City Garage in Ellicottville, sells Telemark equipment, and he was saying how he and his family did a road trip kind of post-COVID, and they went to New Mexico, and he was talking about the Red Rock down there, and I was like, we have Red Rock up here. We even have a town named Red Rock. Yeah. And
you know about that.
Yes. Yeah. So anyways, thanks for sitting down with me this evening, John.
Yeah, no, always good talking and sitting down with you, and it's
Yep.
always nice to be able to share a little bit of my life.
Yeah, and it's nice to be back up in the north in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've still got great conditions. We're open 2 more weeks for sure, and probably into April 15th.
Yeah. That'll be awesome.
Hopefully it doesn't rain.
Yeah, I know. We have rain this weekend, but yep.
Anyway, so thanks a lot.
Yeah, no, thank
Keith,
you.
for asking me.
Yeah.
I call Keith my little brother, and just the best guy. I'm so glad. You know, when he didn't tell me he was head of Telemark Canada until the end of the day I spent with him. You talk about humility. That says a lot about the man, I'll tell you that.
Well, thanks. And I didn't pay John to say that. and the feeling is mutual. Thanks again, John.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anytime.
Well, there you have it, crew. Another episode of the Skippy Report. Done on location in Searchmont, Ontario with my good friend John Woods. And thank you very much, John, or as a lot of people up there call him, Woody, for sharing your stories. Longtime ski instructor, new to telemark skiing. Anyways, we always have a blast when we get together. So thanks again, John, for sitting down with me and sharing all your stories. So check back later for another episode of the Skippy Report. And thank you for listening. Peace out.